started as a music show where I just played like stuff that was like in top 40, like mainstream stuff. And I did
you get to pick the genre, or did you have to play like on the radio?
I get to pick what I want.
Good.
So it was nice. And the good thing is I could go like back and forth through like YouTube and do that. And I know you don't have that kind of freedom at a lot of stations, so that's nice to have.
It's hard to, yeah.
And basically, I did that for 2 years, and then I switched to the show I have there now, which I just mentioned, and I'm still doing that to this day.
Nerd Squad.
Along with the Roundtable, which is actually on next, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. That's going to be a good show. Gene, you know who I'm bringing in today? Take a guess. He's on Sundays, Gene.
Vince?
That's not Vince.
Ray, Brito.
Brito.
Yeah, Brito's coming in.
Oh, you're getting to Ray? Okay, that's going to be a fun show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's going to be a funny show.
Hold up. I thought you didn't know who Ray was.
I don't think I've ever met him. Wait, is he the one that had the comedy club? That's Brito.
That's Bonner.
He performs there.
Mike Bonner has the comedy club.
Oh, that's Mike Bonner's?
So then
It's
I never
not
met
his,
Brito.
but he performs there. He's been there a long time.
No, okay, gotcha.
I have never.
The Station Bar and Grill in Cranberry. Great place.
Oh, all right.
Really good place.
I definitely got to go there one time. I know Mike mentioned it to me.
We'll go with you guys. If you want to go with us, we'll go sometime.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, I have off this Friday, so maybe then. I got to see what I'm doing, though. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can go.
Because a lot
I'd
of
love
times
to go.
I
I'd
end
like
up
to get away from all the garbage.
a lot of times I end up forgetting what the hell I'm doing. So
No, but I don't think I met Ray.
You will.
I was gonna say
He'll
you'll
leave a
today.
lasting impression on you, I'm sure.
Oh.
The last time I
That
talked
sounds
to
good.
Ray, excuse my language, we were talking about eating ass. That's the last time I talked to Ray.
Oh my gosh. This show.
That's the last conversation I had with
Sorry, daughter.
my show.
Sorry, daughter.
Hey, you know what?
I am so sorry,
listen,
iHeartRadio.
Listen, man. Don't blame me. Blame Ray. And you know what? If Animal House can do what they want, so can I.
Yeah, but not on her show.
Shh.
You just gotta be very
he was talking
cautious
about
and
eating
careful.
bleep.
All right. So, from starting still with what you were saying though about, for your audition and stuff, what did you have to do for your audition? Like if you could describe, going in for your audition, were you nervous? What did you have to do? What were your steps that you had to overcome?
I was definitely nervous.
What did you do?
What I had to do was figure out how to write a script because, when you're in college and you're trying to write a script for a show, that's not exactly easy to do. So what I do now is I'll write the main things that I'm talking about and I'll leave it at that. It saves me time, takes me no longer than like 5-10 minutes, and it's easy to do. So that's what I did when I came in for the audition. And I kind of just went with it. And on top of that, gave me like some stuff where like I talked about like the weather. I read that off word for word.
Okay.
Tried to sound legit as I could.
I was going to say, did they actually have you do not different accents, but the way that you said it to describe it, like to make it sound interesting?
Yeah.
'Cause I know that's very hard on radio. A lot of people will try, but sometimes they could be very boring.
A lot of people, when they're reading something, they sound like they're reading it. And if you are going to make a script like that, then what you need to do is you need to rehearse it and you
Spice it up.
you need to be able to spice it up, not sound like you're reading it, and that takes time to do.
Yes, it really
Which
does.
is why I think it's better to just go with like a general time clock because you're just going with, what you have in your head at that moment. And if you have like the, I guess, talent to kind of like spin the words around, make it interesting for people, and you have the energy, then there's nothing that can really stop you.
Would you give any advice to somebody that was, say they were listening to you now and they want to do something that you did, but they're scared to get into radio?
I'm not going to lie to you. It's a hard field to be in, and sometimes it gets very depressing. I'm still trying to get on an FM station, and it's been rough. I've had places where it looks hopeful, and there's still places that look hopeful, but it's rough, and sometimes it's going to feel long and hard, and I've had a lot of friends who have come to me and just tell me, you got to push through it, and a lot of times, especially now, I brush it off because I get sick of hearing it.
Of course.
But
it gets annoying, right?
well, it gets to a point where words don't do any good, but they're right. You have to keep pushing through it. That's the whole point of it. And no matter how hard it gets, if this is really what you want to do, then you got to find a way to keep the drive alive and never give up on it.
Would you say mostly it could be very complicated, as well as learning, you know, different ropes for everything, especially if they want to be first behind the scenes, like they have to do engineering, then work their way up to radio show? Or how would you put that in perspective for the person? Honestly,
a lot goes into it. Like with here, the board is like right across from us, like off the screen. When I was in WSPR, mic 1 was right next to it, so you'd have to like multitask, like engineering it and kind of talking at the same time, and you have to find a way to make your transition smooth. And it's not as easy as it looks. You know, you gotta think about what you're gonna do when you're 3 words like ahead of where you're at, so that it goes smooth.
And to make it
sound smooth, that's what you gotta do.
But to also make you feel somewhat accomplished in that situation?
Well, when everything comes out smooth, like, yeah, I do feel accomplished. I mean, it gets to a point where it's honestly second nature because you get so used to it.
Exactly.
But, you know, when something, you know, sounds good, yeah, I definitely take pride in it.
So from first about your audition and everything, but like you said, you graduated. So did you start listening to like radio stations to want to be in telecommunications? Or how did that come about?
Well, I mean, I always listen to radio. Every time, like, when I was, like, in the car driving with friends, I always had it on. I don't usually plug my phone into an aux cord and, you know, put on what I have. I can do that at home.
That's
I
true.
normally just go through the radio, pick different stations, and there's a bunch that I can pick, and I know them because I've lived here all my life. There's XTU, there's 98.9, there's Hot 97. You get Nash New York, sort of. And yeah, no, there's a bunch of different stations that I can pick from. And those are just some of them off the top of my head.
The ones that you like switch back and forth to once in a while?
That's some of them. I have others. I just can't think of them at the moment.
Do you like more radio stations where it's just more talking than music, or how do you feel about that?
Well, it depends. Like you said, there's some people that just sound generic and boring. And then
like pastors sometimes?
Well, I've seen this actually happen to people a lot. They get on air and they'll sound very monotone. Like they'll be talking like this, and I'm supposed to be interested in what you're saying. Like, no, put some energy into what you're saying, liven up, and then maybe I'll actually take the time out to listen to you. Because I don't want to listen to something that'll make me fall asleep. I can do that at any time with movie commentary.
Yes, that's very true too. Especially when you're driving, because that's not ever good.
What?
You fall asleep at the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you listen to something, like a lot of people, when they listen to some stuff.
Yeah, no, what I do, because, I'll have nights when I'm up late, like working on stuff, like doing editing or whatever, and then I'll have work early in the morning. So what I'll do to fix that problem is I'll put my windows down, my music goes all the way up, and as soon as the wind hits when I'm on the highway, I'm not falling asleep because that's right in my eyes.
Well, hey, at least you have another way to look at it. A lot of people don't.
It comes through like the car window. My eyes get dry, but it's better than falling asleep and dying.
Yeah, well,
I think you guys like me better alive, don't you think?
Of course. It's your birthday today.
I was about to say, that's a sad way to go. Falling asleep at the wheel on my birthday.
Well, be careful.
Oh, man.
Don't do that. Don't fall asleep at the wheel.
I'll try to.
Good thing
I'll try. We have ideas now.
Oh,
I hope I've given all of you aspiring radio people some ideas too.
So from listening to all the radio stations, from what you started with your say first you started with your audition, what pushed you first to doing the intern? Like, did you have to audition to be the intern? How did that work?
Well, the first station that I interned for was 94.5 PST. And basically how that worked was I went in there, I did the application, I gave it back to them. I did it pretty much right at the front desk so I could just have it done.
Yeah, so you could just, instead of driving home and then...
Yeah, instead of doing all that.
Plus, it's good to hand it right away, too, if they need someone, because
Yeah.
it's more dependable.
Yeah, so I did it there, got it done. And then I came back, followed up with them, probably after about, I want to say 2 weeks. And I talked to Shin, and I think E was with him at the time, too.
Edwin. Shout out to
Yeah,
Edwin.
Edwin E. I just call I'm used to calling him me because that's who I interned with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I talked to them, and you know they asked me some questions. Most of them they were actually just messing around. So I got done with that conversation. They said we'll take you in a heartbeat, and I ended up starting I think first week of September, and I interned there for 3 months.
3 months from there.
It was a good experience.
What would you consider when somebody says like you're interning? What are you doing exactly?
You're
Are you running to get them coffee? Kind of
No.
interning? Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, that wasn't like that.
So what did you do? If you could describe just a couple of things.
Well, basically, what I saw was somebody else like running like an actual professional show, because you know there is a difference between college and actual profession.
Yes.
There honestly is. I mean, it's the same thing in like theory, but like you're actually watching it be run, like for real. Because college, it's in a way it's practice, but it's not. And then professional, there's the real thing. I don't want anyone to think don't take college radio seriously, because you really should. But
Is that like the learning curve versus professional?
yeah, college you have more of a learning curve. Professional, you don't
professional.
have that learning curve. You should know
Exactly.
what you're doing by then.
Exactly. And see, some of the things I think about that too is when people don't pick up too quickly and they think that they're going to be amazing, they can do so many mistakes, and that can cost an internship. That can cost, you know, mostly like if they want a career.
Well, one of the
They don't pick it
stations,
up.
one of the stations I was applying for, the hiring manager actually gave me some advice that I kind of want to share now.
Okay.
When you're applying for a station, what you should do is send them a demo where you put the end of one song at the front of it.
Okay.
And then what you do after that, you like, I guess like go out of that song, this was blah, blah, blah by whoever, and you talk about an event, go into the next song, and then like 94.5 PST, yeah. Like something like that.
Something
And you
to
have the
promote.
beginning of the different song. And just make sure you have energy in that, obviously, as I've said. You can't really stress that enough.
But in that situation, when you do release it, can it also be like, what if the edits of the music don't sound right? Or, you know, your voice is not, like, can that all affect it?
Well,
Is that what they look at? Or they just look at,
yeah, that's definitely something that they look at. But
like, it depend on you?
you got to be able to judge how your demos are. And if you don't feel that the demo you came out with is satisfactory, don't send it. If you can edit it, edit it. Because you can tell Maria, who just walked in, shout out to you, and she's seen me editing multiple times. I'm a perfectionist, right? When I edit. That's the only thing I'm really a perfectionist with, because I make sure to get all the gaps out completely. I make sure to get like any stuttering out that I can get out.
Correct.
And I make sure to get all like the really big errors out, so that when you send it, you sound fresh. And obviously you're going to have stuff like that happen, because a lot of cases you're going to be live on air.
Of course.
So you're going to have that happen. But when you send a demo, like, take some pride in your work. Don't send it that way. You know?
So, like, research a little, feel more confident
Yeah.
versus just sending it.
Yeah, take a listen to the station a few times. Like, watch them go in, like, hear them go into some songs.
Like 92.5.
Yeah, 92.5, Thunder 106, 96.5, anything.
MMR.
Listen to how they go into songs, and then pick two that they would play, preferably something that you've already heard on that station.
Which would be good, too, because you already know it.
Yeah. You know, you're not going to play EDM on XTU. You're not going to go into songs like that. So take a listen to like what they're playing, pick songs that you think are appropriate for the one you start with and the ones you end with. Pick an event that's on their website. Like, don't pick Super Bowl 52 for 94.5 PST, because they're not doing anything with it. You know? Like, pick things that make sense with that.
Or something that they promote on their station, too.
Yeah.
You know, so they can get, like, the outburst of versus.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that makes sense. You really shouldn't send them anything else, because that can go to a different station.
Correct. Or I was going to say, what if somebody wanted to make their own thing, like their own promo of
Like-
something. That's nothing to do with it, but it's just for them to get a voice out, their opinion.
Practice is always good.
Would you recommend that, or would you still recommend just staying with what they have on their website versus making themselves sound
Well,
ish?
You can do that,
Yeah.
and I actually did that at first with the station.
Of course you did, Jack.
No, that was the first thing I did. When I was on with Joe one time, I started talking about wrestling, and it sounded really good, but it wasn't the format of the station. And even the hiring manager said that to me. So he was like, if you could send something that's in our format, that would be great. So
Was
really
that the one that you sent something that
Yeah.
wasn't in the format? Okay,
yeah,
so
the
that's why
only
they gave you
the
that.
only thing that was really left to do after that was just to listen to his advice and do what he said so I could get my foot in the door.
So from where you are now versus what you were then, do you definitely feel like you accomplished a lot? You feel more stronger, powerful to go in this path? Is it still very stressful for
I don't
you?
want to say that I've accomplished a lot because it's still very stressful. I'm still not where I want to be.
Well, I mean, I
but-
feel like you've got up more steps.
I've grown, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten better, since I've been in Hamilton radio. I'm definitely head and shoulders better than when I started, as you should be after 4 or 5 years.
I've never heard you when you started. I really want to, but
I started, I had a lot of problems freshman year when I started because I wasn't comfortable.
Did you have any stuttering or anything?
Yeah, I would stutter constantly. And I would go, this is another reason why a script isn't for me, like a word for word thing.
Yeah.
Because when I had that on a piece of paper and I was putting it to a microphone, I would try so hard to get it out exactly that way
And it didn't.
that
come
I
out
would
right.
stutter and it wouldn't sound good.
Or make mistakes too.
Yeah, I would
Really?
make mistakes constantly on air, and I caught what I was doing. So I thought to myself, I need a different way to be able to speak on air. Because if I keep stuttering like this, it's not going to make sense to people who are listening. And they're going to wonder, why is he going on air when he's so nervous?
Or what are you
Da-da-da-da.
talking about exactly?
Yeah.
Which is, very hard to accomplish.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to accomplish. You got to get a feel for it
But
first, and that
if
comes
you-
with time.
Correct. But if you can look at it and try to memorize some of the important parts of it, and you just get some of that down, then that helps too.
Yeah, no, that definitely does help. Some people are able to feel comfortable writing like long scripts and being able to stick to it. Some people are not. I'm
typing.
not. I don't think I've ever seen you with a script ever.
Just the DJ Dani Show when it was 7 pages. That was it.
Wait, hold on. Wait, the DJ Dani Show, like the Christmas party?
Christmas party, yeah.
That's the only one that was scripted?
Because it's like 7 pages. I write mine, then I write what I say, then I write what the co-host says versus interviewing the guest, and then when we promote,
Yeah. To be fair, you do have a lot more segments, so that honestly makes sense. I think the longest one I've ever seen was probably like 9 pages, and it was for an hour show. I don't even understand how you write that much for an hour show, because yours was 4 hours that day.
Correct. But I feel like another thing is people get worried and nervous thinking they don't have enough material when they do,
Yeah.
but they don't think they do. So that's why they were probably over prepared and they probably made themselves very stressed out by the 9-page paper. It's like a freaking essay.
Well, here's my advice for that. If you have too much, just take it into the next show if you can manage to do that. Don't feel bad like if you're not on air till next week and you have to take something that already happened to another show a week later. Like, that's not the case. If you got stuff for like 4 or 5 shows, then I would suggest trimming it down. But if you got to take maybe an extra 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes to go into the material that you have left,
Yes.
then do it. And honestly, that kind of helps you because you only have 45 minutes for the next show that you need material for. And if you do go over on that again by a few minutes, then you know what, that happens. Sometimes you're going to come in with more than you need. Sometimes you're going to come in with less than you need. That's the nature of the beast. You can't expect it to go perfect.
Exactly.
It never goes that way.
And when you do expect it, sometimes you stress out more on that situation because you're trying to make sure everything is semi-perfect.
Well, yeah. But
And that just
honest,
never happened.
that's something that you kind of let go with time too. Because, when you do it for so long, you get to a point where you're like, screw it. If I need to take like 10 minutes next show, I got it. If I have an extra 10 minutes on this show, there's a way to improvise. And there's always a way to improvise. And there's always a way to kind of drag your segments out, think of another question when like the other person is speaking, during a break, anything. There's always a way to make something go the time you need it to.
Which can be very complicated as well as that situation.
It can be, but again, experience. It comes with experience and time.
Most definitely does. So how long have you been with Hamilton Radio?
I have been with Hamilton Radio for a year now.
My goodness, really?
I actually remember my first day. It was January 26, 2017. So it's been just over a year.
What did you do your first day here?
My first day, I was an intern. I think the first show I ever sat in on was Buddha Radio, back when that was still around.
Oh, my gosh.
Remember those days, Gino?
That was Buddha Radio.
Oh, man.
He was funny.
I miss Buddha Radio, man.
Yeah, he's in Atlantic City.
I remember him talking about Gilbert Gottfried. I still watch that segment to this day.
Well, that's amazing.
The sweat that was dripping. All right, let me not do that because your show doesn't do that.
Did you enjoy your time here and everything for like your first day?
Well, yeah, of course I did. I got to be behind there doing what I love, even though being on air is the first love out of it. I still got to be around it. It's always something that I loved being around, whether I'm, promoting on social media,
Yes.
whether I'm editing something in like a production room or on one of the computers here, or, of course, as I said, being on air.
You prefer being on air?
Yeah, over everything, yeah. That's the thing I love the most.
I was gonna say, for me, starting when I did my very first show, I think I was an engineer for a couple of years here before I could even get a show. But I really wasn't mature enough for it. And I used to have a show a couple of years ago, before 2014, I think it was like 2013 or 2012, where it was 6 to 8, and I did not have any material prepared for either hour.
Well, how did that show go? Let me ask you that.
How did that show go, Dad? When I was 6 to 8, how was those shows?
Oh my God. I mean, it's hard to fill 1 hour.
It's harder than you think.
Right, and in 2 hours, it's like, taking a big bite of a big piece of cake or a big cake, and you could only chomp maybe a little bit. And that's kind of what she fell in the face a couple times. But she got right back up and did it. I give her a lot of credit for it.
I prefer 1 hour though.
You got
1 hour is better, and you can always go later.
Yeah.
You got to fall on your face a couple times.
I think my first show I did that though. Another thing was a situation where I thought my dad put me on air. I said everything. I wasn't on air. My sister was co-hosting that night. She was like, "I'm not coming on this show. This is horrible."
How come your sister stopped again? I forget.
We did a show after called Music with Rosie and Dani. She didn't want any guests. It was just music. And then us talking about stuff that was going on. It just went down.
You got to have that going in to keep people interested. If you just have the same thing.
We couldn't think of interesting topics besides what's on the news versus like what's on TV for E-news and stuff. Like the Kardashians was all we could probably talk about.
I had to learn that lesson too when I started because I just wanted it to like be me and my co-hosts having different topics every week. That worked for a while, but to get like other people to listen, you got to go have people on your show, get the connections. That's a really important thing. You can come up with topics all you want and get the progress, but it's going to be much slower.
It most definitely is.
I've seen how much faster my show has gotten better through all the connections that I've made here and through booking shows, through the guests. Sometimes things happen. Yeah. Sometimes things happen. I know last week I had an issue where I couldn't get in touch with the guest I was supposed to have, which actually isn't anyone's fault. My phone was broken. I got a new one, and at the time I had no way to DM her on Instagram because I don't have her number now.
Well, who was it?
Well, it was somebody that I was in WSPR with for all 4 years. And I wanted her to come on, but unfortunately, I had that going on, and that's just the way Cookie crumbled that day. But
It
you
wasn't
know,
meant to be.
yeah, I powered through it. We talked about Zodiac for pretty much the whole show, and it ended up working out okay.
This one last week, and then you brought Jordan.
Yeah,
Right?
Jordan wanted to. Well, I don't want to say Jordan wanted to come on because I don't think he did it first, but he ended up having a good time.
Jordan he's very wide open and very talented in the situations. I don't try to force him in anything that he would not want to do. I try to just help him.
You got to chant his name and hype him up,
Of course, but I try to ambush it because he's going to be on Ellen DeGeneres soon.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that. What day is he on?
The manager has to get back to him and let him know when she wants him and so forth. But hey, I'm 100% ready for this.
I am excited, man.
I told him I'll text him when he's on air and be like, hey. But I don't want to ruin his.
He's been texting me about like my show all week. We've been talking back and forth.
That's good.
And you know what? He's actually a really cool guy to talk to. So, and I remember.
Is he your new drinking buddy?
I don't know about that. I don't know how he drinks. He might have a hard time keeping up with me, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how he drinks, so I can't say.
Well, we were at the club. I mean, he had like 2 beers, I think, before he went on set. Jordan at the Sharon Leah show.
He probably didn't want to get like too drunk though.
He had to sing.
Exactly.
So, of course. But,
Imagine him trying to sing this country song. If it's about to be, it'll be insert fall here.
I want him to sing country though, but about with everything, like you said, you're talking to him, so you're making more connections here, which is great because this is the start for you. You have to push yourself far out, like we said, fall on your face a few times.
Yeah.
Feel what's going on, because the thing is, if you don't get over the part when you fall on your face, then you don't think you can ever accomplish anything or conquer anything.
If you don't get back up when you fall on your face, if you don't push yourself to get back up, nobody can really help you. You got to understand that, people can give you all the advice you want, but you got to help yourself at some point.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
And if you don't help yourself at some point, then you're going to crumble until there's going to be nothing left.
So when did you start the round table here?
I started it, it's been about 7 months now. I started it in early July.
And you like it? Do you remember what your very first show was about?
My very first show was about relationships.
Was that the one where everybody was supposed to come?
Yeah, everybody was supposed to come, but it was on short notice. So
it was me and food, right? Was I the first guest?
Yeah, you were our first guest. You were on the very first show. So I could have an extra person on air for the first one.
You gave me a sandwich or something I was eating, and you were like, how does the sandwich taste? And like interviewing me about
Oh, behave. Did I do that the first show? Yes. Did I?
No.
I don't think I did that the first show.
Starting in 2018.
I know I did it. I just didn't remember doing it the first one.
No, it had to be like a couple.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
What?
That.
What is that?
Oh, behave.
That's Austin Powers, bro.
Oh, I recently saw that movie.
Groovy, baby. How do you not know where that's from if you saw it?
I just saw the movie like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and you're wondering where that's from? Bro, that quote is iconic.
That's
That's almost iconic as Groovy, baby. Please tell me you at least knew that one.
Where's that from?
Groovy, baby?
No, but what scene?
I forget. I don't really care. I just know it happened. That's all I care about.
Oh, yeah, no, he does. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Golf clap. You messed up.
I tried. Well, hey, so promote the round table.
All right, everybody tune into the round table. It is on from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. tonight with special guest Ray Brito. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have a lot of fun.
It's going to be an epic party because it's going to be your birthday too, right?
Yeah, buddy.
So we should celebrate it, I think. Don't you think? Yeah?
You know what? I am just glad you did not walk in here with the silly spray, okay?
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to the DJ Dani Show on HamiltonRadio.net with John BRECKO.
I got to take a shit.
worst ever.
Quiet.
Blow.
I thought we're back already. Well, hold on. Why do I have 6 candles when I'm 23?
It was 24
Well, I know, but-
candles, but they melted down.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
So for everybody that is listening, we are back. We were just thinking happy birthday to
I had to
lovely
take a nice
birthday
big
boy.
dump, so I'm sorry that
It's
took
not
so long.
appropriate for the radio.
I could have said another word, so be happy that's what you got.
And we have Maria here. Again, you are the co-host, or I'm just gonna say you're the owner. Aren't you like the owner for the
Owner
round
of
table?
what?
Co-host of the round table. My apologies.
The hell? Owner? The only owner is Gino.
We're round
He
table.
introduces himself as the owner to a lot of people.
He's the owner of Hamilton Radio. He's like me and my partner.
I originally owned the station, but I'm humble. I always share it with my partner.
Hey. You know, hop
Cool.
on?
Come hop on.
Have fun.
And I am like so ready for whenever somebody wants to cut this.
Okay.
For everything. Can you see Maria?
All right. Let Gino fix the technical difficulties going on. You got this, Gino.
For everything.
Just
Awesome. Hi Maria, thank you so much for being here.
my mic isn't even. Is it on?
Yeah.
Is my mic on?
Can you hear yourself?
It sounds so low.
You can't,
That's
you can't
Jerry.
hear yourself?
No, it's not.
That's Jerry.
Well, because it's the
No.
mic I'm usually on. Is like actually no,
Jerry's
I'm
in
usually
here.
on too.
Yeah, no, you're on here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ruben
Jerry.
was like, you did a quick massage over here and changed everything up.
Yeah, Ruben tried to give me a massage earlier. I wasn't feeling it.
For his birthday.
Yeah, I can hear myself. That's good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Hello, Hamilton
So we
Radio
were
listeners.
talking about John's experience with radio.
Yes.
Now you've started with Roundtable as well. How do
Yes,
you like
I have. I love it. It's funny. I never saw myself being in radio. You know, John and I were talking, you know, like back when this was about to start, and he was like, I'm trying to put this show together for Hamilton Radio, and I need a girl to be on it.
Well, I didn't want it being like all guys. I wanted at least one girl.
And
I wanted
was,
like kind of a balance.
and
you know?
originally he was like, oh, it's comedy. And like, I'm like, okay.
That was the original idea, but then I just took it to topics because it was just ended up being chill conversation. And then the guests started coming on when I needed
Yeah.
more traffic coming into the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where we're at now. We have a guest almost every week, with the exception of last week.
Yeah.
That's
But,
good.
you know, it's been growing steady,
Last
and I
week
like
you
it.
technically did have a guest. You did have Jordan, which was good. You had Jordan,
Well,
you had
I
Ashley and
mean,
Sierra.
Jordan wasn't supposed to happen, though.
Yeah, but you.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you know, picked up and improvised something. So it's good.
it'll be.
Anyway, no, but going back to the conversation, he was like, "Yeah, I need a girl," and back then it was supposed to be a comedy thing, so I was like, "Okay, I don't really think of myself as that funny," so I was like, "I'm not even."
She's a sarcastic funny.
I had said to myself, I said to him, I was like, "I'd volunteer myself, but I don't really think I'm that funny."
She is
so
sarcasm as all.
I'm not in it.
She's
Like,
funny. You both
I was
are
like,
funny.
I'm not about this. I'm not gonna do
Funny
it.
looking. Ooh.
I don't know if it's something that you'd really want to do, like stand-up comedian one day, but I
Yeah.
mean, you're funny on the radio.
Thank you.
Which
But
is good.
yeah, so he was like, "Oh yeah, you could do it." Like I'm like, "Okay," and that's where it went. That's where it went from there, and it's awesome because you know every week I get to do, you know, my fit tip, you know, with Beachbody coaching and being able to share the things that I do. That's the awesome thing about being on this radio station is that we're able to promote our different things. So
Yeah.
you know, you have Jerry promoting her stuff. We promote Primal Gym. Jim's Bagel Loft.
Yeah.
You know, I get to promote my Beachbody stuff. I get to promote my Zumba classes that I teach in the area. So, from a business standpoint, especially coming
Yeah.
from someone who majored in journalism in college, this is actually something that's good for me. You know, I love it. It's my little Tuesday night escape, my way of getting
Your
out of
go-to,
It's my
exactly.
go-to Tuesday night. I, you know, come home, do my workout, and then it's like, okay, I got to leave at 7:30 for the show. So,
And have fun
Yeah.
with it.
and I love it. It's a lot of fun. I'm taking a little break. Next week I'll be in Disney, but I will be back on the 13th,
Is
which
he
will be
gonna be in
awesome.
Disney too?
No,
Disney?
just a
No, I'm not.
no, just a family
It's
trip.
just family.
So he's still here.
I'm
but
gonna
yeah.
give everybody another tip. If you are going to do a show with 2 or more people, do it with people that you know. Don't do it with people that you barely talk to, because if you're doing it with people you barely talk to, then you're not gonna have as much to talk about as you think, and it's probably gonna flounder. You know, you need people that you know you have chemistry with.
They might outshine you too, and you wouldn't be ready for that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's not even really that. Just be aware that the chemistry when you don't know somebody probably isn't gonna match. Because think about all the people that you become friends with in the world, and think about all the people there are in the world in general.
especially
Definitely.
the people that are listening though, and they're
Yeah.
like, they're not. Because
You're-
I've had a couple of co-hosts
you're
on
gonna
my
be
show where
friends.
just we're like, get the heck out. You're,
all the
you're
people,
nothing.
all the people that are in the world, you're gonna meet a fraction of a percentage of them.
Exactly.
That's the truth. So you're not gonna have chemistry with most people, and
Exactly.
you need to be able to judge who you are gonna have chemistry with.
Now, if you can pinpoint on what he was saying, what would you like to say to that?
I mean, we have a great dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, I remember we originally started, it was, you know, our core four, it was, you know, Ashley, Artie, John, and myself. And, you know, unfortunately, things have happened where, you know, Ashley and Artie don't come to the show
Well,
as
Ashley has
often.
been.
I said-
Ashley has been lately.
Yeah, but that's lately. You know, she doesn't come. She's not a usual host. It's usually just you and me, and then you know whoever else we have on air. But you know, we do have a good dynamic. It's awesome that we have. You know, we've built a name for ourselves at this station. You know, people seem to like what we do every week, and
I really haven't gotten any complaints.
yeah, no,
so-
exactly. And
suck. No,
every week we have
Now I
a
do.
different topic. There's always something something that'll happen on the show. It's very unexpected.
Which is what you want it to be. You
Which
don't
is
want to have
awesome.
it all planned out.
Like we have things planned out, but it's like every week John usually
I
has a
haven't
piece of paper
planned
planned out.
but like I said, when I write the script, I'll write a certain topic. I'll say it for like 10 minutes. Another thing, another 10 minutes. You know, the promos and the grub segment I leave as like 5-minute stuff.
My fit tip's like
Yeah.
2-3 minutes.
Your fit tip is 5 minutes.
Is it 5 minutes?
I say 5 minutes for it.
Aw.
That's so sweet.
So nice.
He gives
Well,
you
because
that
I don't
sometimes.
really like giving like any less than like 5 minutes unless it's like final
topic.
thoughts, intro, or outro.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
course.
yeah, other than that, I gotta give like 5-10 minutes for each thing.
For each of the session versus
Yeah.
everything else.
But we have a good time on the show, and I hope it never ends, to be honest, because I love it.
Is it something that you want to grow up doing?
Like
Not just with Hamilton Radio, but do you want to branch out to other radio stations,
I
or you
would
just want to
love. I mean, radio's. I mean, I'm the journalist one of the group. John's the more
Yeah.
radio guy, but I mean, being in communication, like being in the communications field, it is very hard.
Got options, bruh.
I can speak to the fact that both John and I haven't found jobs in our field yet. It is very hard. It is very cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
You really, if you're in any kind of entertainment,
I know I damn well deserve it.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I feel like it can be very limited too.
It's
with what
you're very
looking for.
limited. Being in communications journalism, being in radio, being in any kind of entertainment,
I would say cutthroat. I wouldn't say limited.
it's cutthroat, and you really have to hustle.
Yeah.
Be very quick about it too.
Yeah. I mean, my cousin is a singer in Puerto Rico. Quick story. And she's put out, 2 salsa albums. One is like more like, one's more like a jazzy, like ballad type album.
Your cousin hustles though, man.
And she's had to hustle. Like, she is always talking about how her CDs are available. Like, she has music on iTunes. You can literally buy her album off of her website.
Why hasn't she been on my show yet?
Because she travels a lot.
She's very busy.
Okay.
She was actually in the mainland U.S. during the holidays. She was in New York, and then she was in New York at Christmas because she works for one of the schools in Puerto Rico and helps with the performing arts sector of that specific school. I can't remember the name of it right now, but what she does often is she is often here in like the New Jersey, New York area, mostly New York, because like she'll take a group of students that are doing, like, let's say recently she had a group of students that did In the Heights. And she, that group of students that she's done, actually, no, it wasn't In the Heights. I think it was Once on This Island, but whatever. She works with this group of students, like being their vocal coach, and often they'll come up here to New York and go see shows, and they'll meet with people in the business, and it's a lot of
You
mentoring.
guys talk for a second because I have to get somebody that's coming up here.
Okay, sure.
No problem.
Anyway, but yeah, so she's here. She's here every so often. I think the next time she's going to be here, Actually, I think she's going to be here soon, but only for like a few days. But I'm going to be in Disney, so I'm not going to be able to see her.
Oh.
But I think she's also going to be up here in March. If you want, I can give you her information.
Yeah, or I
but
mean,
she
if
does
she's
travel a
ever-
lot because one of the things that she does is she does coro, which is like backup singing for different salsa artists. Most recently, Gilbertito Santa Rosa. So at one point in the last couple months, like she was in London at one point. Like she's done a lot of traveling South America, like it's crazy. And in Puerto Rico, she is so well known. She's done different morning talk shows where she's performed and stuff. And people know who she
What's her
is.
name?
Michelle. I'll send you her contact info.
Yeah.
But she is very well known and she hustles. So, being, like I said, it goes back to, being in any communications or even in the entertainment industry, you really have to hustle. And, John and I are learning that firsthand right now. We're both trying to pursue our goals. Mine is journalism, his is radio, and it is very hard. And, you have to be willing to handle rejection well and just, pick up the pieces and keep going.
It's definitely that. And it's also when you're trying to book an artist, besides not wanting, like, I don't like charging people, but I know I'm going to have to eventually.
Oh, definitely.
And it's going to happen. I mean, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I still feel really bad about that because I'm still branching out to try to find people. So it's like, I'm going to try to get you on my show, but you have to pay to be on it.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel like is really a win-win kind of situation.
John was saying that he very well deserves it. And honestly, I believe that he does. When it comes to our college experiences, me, when I was in college, I worked. I did Greek life. I had two part-time jobs and I was in a sorority during my last 2.5 years of college. And I didn't have the time for internship experience. So that kind of screws me over in a little bit because they always talk about, oh, you need experience. And it's like, it's not like I didn't try making it a priority. I tried for different internships and it just did not work out because my schedule was so weird that way. I would have, I could have had an internship in New York City, but I would have had to give up a job. And, New York tickets ain't cheap. You gotta, like tickets in New York City are not cheap and that's, subway and stuff. So it's very expensive. But,
What's expensive?
New York City subway, New York City tickets. Hey guys. We got Connor and Taryn who just came into the room. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you didn't know they were coming.
No, I know.
You did?
You told me
I did.
this afternoon.
I must not have cared enough to remember
Bruh.
I told you.
Anyway,
Alright.
no, but I didn't have that time.
You
I didn't
big
have that.
bastard.
Quiet.
What?
I didn't have that time when I was in college to do that, but then you have this, then you have John who for now going on 5 years of radio experience, 2 internships, the one that is still technically ongoing.
Yeah.
And, he has his radio show, 2 radio shows at that, one here, one at WSPR. And, if you're talking about someone who is driven, is, knows what he wants and is going after it like a bat out of hell.
To find
And,
out. Exactly.
if anyone deserves a shot at it, it's this guy.
I feel like
You
I can also
goddamn right I
see
do.
you doing something with news.
Yeah.
Like I see you doing something with news. Like not the weather or anything. Like
Oh yeah,
and
no.
making
I've
wigs and stuff, but,
applied.
like,
I've applied to a couple things, and I've listed actually, Hamilton Radio as
of course.
being part of my resume because
it's mine.
dabbling in all different
my job.
aspects. Dabbling in all different aspects of communications and stuff helps. So I didn't have it on there before, but recently I was like, you know what, I should add it. Like it's a
Well,
good experience. So
Something
I
I really still didn't add to my resume was when I was it like what it was an intern for bands. Yeah, I basically showed the bands where they were gonna eat, got them all
So
drinks.
why the
stuff
hell
like that.
haven't
Why
you
isn't it
added
on
that?
your? Why is it on your
See?
resume?
Was I supposed to put it on job resume?
You
Yes.
should. You have intern
That's
experience.
common sense, my guy.
Dude.
I didn't put that.
Oh my.
It's funny. She can organize bands, but she can't organize home.
She can't
How
life. That's
how
the
is that
problem.
not on your? Wait, what comes?
20
like,
bands coming in at once. She can organize who eats when,
Dad,
who gets
was
the
it-
band.
What organization
Was
was
it
this?
rock-
Remember when Big
This is
Tim
when we did
Kellums was
Friendlies.
supposed to come in? He got
but
lost.
this is
She
before
freaked out.
Friendlies. This is actually when we did Petros.
No,
The
That
Iron
was funny.
Skillet.
no, that's not the one I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one with City of Angels that I was. In
Oh, that's
charge of.
another thing. Okay, see,
But I
that's,
don't know what that's called. Was it called Rock
it's
Fest?
it's like a liaison.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. You're not gonna know what that means.
Exactly.
Is that French?
Always pick.
I don't know what
Is that
means.
French? Oh,
Yeah, don't even bother because you know.
jeez.
What are you talking about? Just say it.
A liaison is a person that goes in between two people or other things, like whatever they're trying to accomplish and themselves. So it's like a mediator. Oh my God, there's another one.
Okay.
Mediator, like your personal
Oh my
assistant,
God.
like
Okay, yeah, I got mediator.
you know, like
But I
personal
don't
assistant,
know
like
who's
let's
Mazor or what
like
he
let's
means.
say
Alright,
when
she
you.
got
the
far
go
enough.
between.
Oh Lord. Okay,
Okay.
it's getting loud.
Should I golf clap on this shit or no?
Hey, mouth.
Whoops.
He actually clapped for me. I think.
Yeah,
golf clap is-
yeah. I don't think that was for you.
Ay ay. Ay ay ay.
Yeah, that's
But
very true.
no, that's something that I really didn't put on my resume.
There
I
you
probably
go.
Should, but I'm still at Applebee's on the wall too, so that's an accomplishment.
I gotta edit mine out because mine has literally nothing but like radio. I mean, not radio. Mine is all like my retail.
That's what mine is. I
Yeah.
have 2 pages.
I gotta take mine out.
Yeah, you can't have 2 pages. Take that down.
Teamwork.
I
and-
have 2 pages.
Well, teamwork and
my
collaboration.
Job hired me because
You
of
mentioned
it, so.
TV too. I mean, listen, you guys are pretty much all on YouTube right now and
Yeah.
Facebook, so that you can use this as TV experience.
Hello,
as well,
viewers.
Oh yeah.
because you're
Hi, hi.
in front of the
Princess
camera.
wave.
I'm wearing Riverdale, if you can't tell.
That's nice.
Have you been watching?
Now I actually
I haven't
have to
watched the
golf
second
clap for
season
you.
yet.
So stop with your light. What the?
What?
No behave.
What?
Well, for everyone
hey,
that
hey.
is tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. I had a blast tonight. Thank you so much, Maria, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
John.
for having
Happy
me.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
I want to have you guys back again, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
you know
totally.
that.
Definitely.
And I'm going to be on the round table, I think, in the beginning of April or something. It's in my calendar. I don't remember.
Yeah, actually.
Something like that.
That's the first thing I'm hearing of it.
But I want to say thank you
I've
for
got a
everybody.
book till May, dude.
I want to say thank you for everyone that tuned in. I hope you guys tune in next week. I have
took all the
Jonathan Goldstein,
guests. What are you
who
doing?
is Watcher from Drake and Josh, returning back on Skype for video. So have a great night, everyone.
Peace.
Can we cut this?
Yeah.
Clear.
We got Walter coming back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Walter who?
Video.
dad from Drake and Josh.
Did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
Oh wait, no, I showed
Jonathan
it on
Goldstein,
Tumblr.
right.
Oh my gosh. What?
forgot about
Drake
that.
and Josh house is for sale, but it's a total.
What is it?
It doesn't look like it at all inside. Like it made me upset. I know it's not supposed to be. Because